Our voice, naturally a large part of our identity. It's who we are. But imagine a world in which your ability to communicate is challenged after you've undergone a surgery called laryngectomy. Well, the good news is, thanks to advances in modern technology, there are a number of ways to help you get your voice back. Joining us with insight is Meaghan Kane-Benjamin of Atos Medical. And later on, you're going to meet a man who can now chat it up again with the best of them. Good morning, Meaghan.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, before we talk about laryngectomy, I think about, the voice. I need my voice to do my job, and I take it for granted.
You probably only notice your voice when you lose it, and you can't do your job. It's very inconvenient when you don't have a voice.
And that's, of course, is laryngitis. But now let's talk more about laryngectomy. What is that?
Laryngectomy is the removal of the larynx or vocal cords. It's located in your neck. If you put your hand up here, you can feel the vibration when you talk.
Let me see for a second. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And then when you swallow, you feel the larynx move. The primary function of the larynx is actually to protect the airway from food and liquid going down the wrong pipe. Secondary is really to produce sound, which is your voice.
Now, this may seem like a silly question, but can we speak without a larynx or a voice box?
You can speak without a larynx or a voice box. We just need to find an alternative sound source, which is oftentimes the esophagus.
Okay, so when I think of laryngectomy, I don't know if you think about this, but I think about those anti-smoking ads that we see. You know which ones?
Yes.
They're very compelling.
They're so compelling because the objective is to get people not to smoke.
Right.
But most of the 3,500 laryngectomies, new laryngectomies each year that have surgery, go on to live very fulfilling lives.
So there is life after laryngectomy?
Absolutely.
Now the great news is there is technology that's helping people get their voice back.
Absolutely, and it's this.
What, just that?
Just that, it's called a voice prosthesis. There's a surgical opening between the trachea and the esophagus, and this voice prosthesis gets placed just like this, and so there's one part sits in the esophagus, one part in the trachea, and when the patient goes to talk, they cover the stoma that they're breathing through. It shunts the air through here and causes the esophagus to vibrate. And the beauty of it is that there is a small valve on the backside, so when the patient is drinking and eating, the food and liquid doesn't flow back into the lungs.
Fascinating. Now tell me what this is here.
So this is amazing. This is called the Flexi Voice. This is placed on the outside of the stoma, and it's a pressure-sensitive membrane so that the patient can talk without using their hands to cover.
Oh my goodness.
Which is basically what they were doing before they had surgery. And then we have, HMEs, a heat moisture exchanger. Just in a nutshell, this is your new nose. This is what you put on to help warm, humidify the air, which is very important to the health of your lungs. And there's one for the day, and there's also one for the evening.
Now, I know we have a clip with some patients who are using this technology.
Oh, great.
I want to hear what they have to say, so let's take a look real quick.
I'm the luckiest man in the world. I had cancer and lost my voice. I've now got it back. And when people that seen me months ago with the manual haven't seen me for a while, and they see me talking to them now, they say, it's just like having you back, Bill. And it's amazing.
Every day, me and my wife go for a walk. And when we walk, we talk.
To use the hand-free speaking valve gives me the possibility to live a very active life. Hello, my name is Tor Akestrom. I have a voice.
Truly remarkable and just changing lives.
It's amazing.
All right, amazing also is our next guest, so stay right there because we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to meet a man who is now talking up a storm thanks to this great technology. We'll be right back. Before the break, we were discussing laryngectomy, a surgery in which the voice box, the larynx, is taken out. It's usually performed in advanced stages of cancer. Well, joining me once again is Meaghan Kane-Benjamin, and also now is joining me is Henry Childress. Good morning, Henry.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story. Tell me what happened.
We had a New Year's Eve party in my house, and the next morning I woke up hoarse.
Which happens to many people.
Especially after a New Year's Eve party.
Of course, you were having a lot of fun.
So I started going to the doctor and getting antibiotics, going to the doctor, getting antibiotics, and my wife finally told me we need to see a specialist.
You weren't getting better.
Wasn't getting better. So I went to one specialist, and he found a nodule on my vocal cords. And he's the one that found that I had that stage 4 tumor on my vocal cords.
So what were your options?
We started out with chemo. And we had chemo for 2 rounds. In the second round, I had a bad reaction. And so they pulled me off of it and sent me back down to the doctor's office, and he put the tube back down me, and the tumor was growing. So he rushed me into surgery and cut the tumor off. And then I got a trach right then so I could breathe.
And then you realized you had to have a laryngectomy.
When I come out of it, he talked to my wife and I, and you know, there was 2 options. I could not have a laryngectomy and maybe live 6 months, 2 months, or have a laryngectomy. And that was the decision we had to make.
This is very common, Meaghan, where you're misdiagnosed, time passes, and then maybe something like this can happen?
Yes, because there's so many causes of hoarseness. And it's cancer, laryngeal cancer is relatively rare, so it's not the first thing.
Now, Henry, I was reading here, you've been married for 36 years. Congratulations.
Thank
2
you.
children and 3 grandchildren?
And one in about 4th one in about a week.
Oh, well, congratulations there. So when you underwent the laryngectomy, how was your life? What were you doing? How did it change your life? It must have been very difficult, I can only imagine.
Very difficult.
All right, so let's move on. So you got the technology, and then that helped all that bad stuff go away, right? So let's talk about the positive stuff. How did this technology then change your life?
Maybe back to the person I was before.
What were you able to start doing?
Play with my grandkids without talk to them, without them trying to write, and they didn't know what I was saying.
Community support really important in this situation, advocacy?
There's such a small number of people that get a total laryngectomy every year that they need access to other people that have gone through it and to education. Having people like Henry doing things like this helps raise awareness. And then there's so many events and activities. There are local support groups, there's national things, and I think that really helps with the understanding of what the future could hold.
That's why I give back now. I meet with patients before they have their surgeries. I like to help the patients, the people.
So Henry, I want you to use your beautiful voice and tell anyone out there who is hesitant about getting this surgery, what would you tell them?
First of all, I would tell them, if you don't get the answer from one doctor, go to another doctor until you get the right answer. And then talk over with your doctor if they're telling you that you need a laryngectomy. See if they got a patient like me that you can talk to. That made all the difference in the world for me.
Changed your life.
Changed my life.
And for more information on how to reclaim your voice, visit atosmedical.us. That's atosmedical.us, or go to our website, thebalancingAct.com.